Alright guys, welcome to this video. Stephen Howell here, and today we're going to talk about the 5 biggest misconceptions with probate real estate investing. So guys, this is a very powerful video. I want to share these concepts with you because probate leads, probate real estate, probate investing is probably one of the most misunderstood sub-niches within the real estate investing world. And this is something that a lot of people have reached out to me. They may have seen some of my past videos on probate, and they have an interest in getting probate going. And these are some questions, these are some misconceptions where I see people kind of getting stuck and not having the full confidence that this lead source can really work for them. Now, I want to say that this is something that I could honestly just keep close to my vest because probate has been one of my best lead sources for the last 8 to 10 years. And I know a lot of the bigger investors around the country, this is one of their best lead sources. Their biggest and fattest and largest deals a lot of times come from probate, and they're honestly okay with having with not a lot of people knowing about probate or having these misconceptions rather. And rather than keeping that foggy, I just want to kind of dive into it here, guys. So I want to say this though, if you are new to my channel here, I'm so glad to have you. Welcome to this video. And if you've been around for a while, whether it's a few days or a few years you've been consuming my content, it's something I don't take lightly and I appreciate very much. Definitely feel free to browse some of the other videos or playlists here on the channel. And if you haven't done so yet, make sure you hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you can see when I publish new videos on a weekly basis. Alright guys, and before we dive into these 5 misconceptions, I just want to say that if I get enough comments, if I get enough people commenting on this video, I'd love to continue this series, but I want to first and foremost make sure it's something and it's information that you guys want to learn. So if you guys want to kind of fully understand the opportunity at hand and some of the specifics of why probate is so hot, and what is, I believe to be coming down the pipeline here very soon, let me know and I'll shoot a video on that, the opportunity at hand. And then we can even go further down the rabbit hole. We can get into marketing. We can get into different little issues that you can run into and how to overcome it and stuff like that. So we can make a whole probate series out of this if you'd like to, but I want to hear from you below. And so if that's something that you guys want, let me know. Just write in the comment, Stephen, yes, record a video on the opportunity that's at hand with probate and what makes them so hot and why it's been the best lead source for you for the last 10 years. Let me know and I'll make that video. And then if I do make that video, I'll go ahead and link it in the suggested videos here at the end of this video. Another thing that I'll do is about 4.5, 5 years ago, a few years back, I recorded a video where I spent an hour and a half talking about how I market to probates and all about probates. And that video is still as relevant today as it was a few years back when I recorded that. And I get comments all the time. You can see there's over 1,000 comments over there. I think the last time I checked, there was 159,000 organic views, completely organic views. So that tells me that that topic has resonated big time, over the years. And I get a lot of people asking, Stephen, is this still relevant? Does this still work for you like it did, back when you recorded that video at the end of 2014? And my friend, I want to tell you, yes, it still works the exact same way. And that's one of the reasons I love probate because, we want to focus on things that do not change. And to be quite blunt, what does not change is, unfortunately, people passing away and, leaving their loved ones or family or relatives with a piece of inherited property. I mean, that's something that has been happening since as long as humans have been around, right? And the other thing that doesn't change within real estate is the art of talking with people and helping them through difficult situations and their problems. It's just we need a blueprint, we need a plan to do that effectively so we're not fumbling around. So the reason, when I discovered this lead source 8 to 10 years ago, I learned it by a little bit of trial and error, but also from learning from a mentor who had been doing it for 10 years. So that's one thing, and I'll save that for the next video about the opportunity that's at hand of why I love probate, because it's not some fad or some gimmick or trick or something that's here today and gone tomorrow. It's been something I've been doing for a while, and it still works very, very well. So enough blabbling here. I think that stuff is very important, but and it needs to be said, but let's get into the video. So the probate process, one of the misconceptions, the first misconception is that it is too lengthy. Stephen, oh my gosh, I've heard that probates take like 6 months or 9 months or a year. Like, I want deals now. I don't have time for that. It just takes too long. And guys, you want to be very careful with these misconceptions. And I just want to preface this by saying that you will hear a lot of things about probate from people who have never done a probate deal. They may be a real estate agent. They may be an investor. They may be a family friend. They may be an attorney. But they may have not done probate deals themselves. And so we want to be very careful, about that. A lot of people have a lot of opinions. But no, the probate process itself, yes, can take up to a year. But as soon as someone is appointed executor, which a lot of times happens in the first month or so, they are able to sell any real estate that's attached to it. So it does not take a year for these deals to come to fruition. When these probate leads become available, a lot of times they're already appointed an executor because the date of death has been like 60 days prior to that. And so the family has kind of raised their hand, they've gone to the courthouse, and they have, said, hey, like, we're ready to deal with this, as a family. And so when you have a batch of probate leads, let's say 20 leads or so, you will have a handful of them that are absolutely ready to sell right now. You'll have a handful of the leads that maybe they want to list it with a real estate agent. You'll have a handful of leads who are a little slow to taking action. Maybe they're still thinking things through. They're deciding if they want to keep it in the family or sell it to a relative, or maybe fix up the property a little bit themselves. But there are always those amount of leads who want to liquidate now, because a lot of times these houses are in poor shape. They've been lived in for 30 or 40 years, and the taxes on the property are piling up, the maintenance fees to keep up the property, the house is sitting empty, and they are ready to liquidate this property and kind of cash out their portion of the estate and help with their lifestyle or debts or needs or what have you. So anyways, so that's the first misconception, that I don't want to fool you, is that the probate process is not too lengthy. I think one of the longest probates that I've worked was maybe like 6 months or so. And it was more so there was a family, there were siblings that were deciding and just kind of slow to taking action. Or I've seen cases where there's been, issues with tenants and stuff like that. But it's very, very rare that it's going to be some long drawn out thing. All right, so first misconception, probate process is too lengthy. False. The second misconception is that you need lots of technical or special knowledge and experience to do these probate deals. You could study all about probate law. You could study the court system in your county, exactly how it works, and know everything inside and out, and still be completely horrible at doing probate deals. Okay, there are so many technical terms and little things that, I did not know when I first started, and stuff that I still don't know all the technical, knowledge and language. At the end of the day, we are empathetically reaching out to sellers who are going through very stressful situations, and they have a real need many, many times to liquidate this property. So all that they need to know is that we're there to listen to them, we're there to help, and we're interested in making a legitimate offer on this property and offering them speed and convenience and clarity and helping them, with the situations they're going through. So we don't need all of the technical or specialized knowledge or a bunch of experience. We need a willing, empathetic heart who has the guts to reach out and to be persistent and consistent in marketing to these leads. And we don't need to worry about all the technical knowledge, okay? So I want to just satisfy that and put that one to bed right now. You don't want to get caught up in all that. Certainly, I recommend reading up as much as you want about it, but don't let that be a point of pride that like, hey, I know all this stuff, but you're really not doing anything with that knowledge, right? Because that's a trap that we can easily fall into because it feels good when we're accumulating knowledge, but at the end of the day, like that stuff doesn't matter, okay? All right, so the third misconception is that people think there's a ton of people marketing to probates. They think it's oversaturated, right? So that is absolutely not true. There may be more people now marketing to them than maybe 5 or 10 years ago. But what people are doing, they're taking the lazy man's or the lazy woman's approach. They're just sending out a pink postcard, a yellow postcard. A lot of time what that means is they are, maybe they said they're marketing to probate, but maybe they've sent out a few mailings or a few letters and they've received a call or two and then, fell into one of these other misconceptions like, maybe I don't know enough technical knowledge, or maybe the process is just too lengthy. I sent out 20 letters, 50 letters, I got a couple of phone calls, and it just didn't really pan out. A lot of times people have this assumption that, people are getting tons and tons of probate letters. If they're delinquent on taxes, if they are going through foreclosure, if they're an absentee owner, they may be getting 30, 40, 50 other letters and bombarded with phone calls. If they're going through the probate process and you're marketing to them correctly, they may have another 5 or 10 probate letters, which is a lot less than almost any other type of real distressed seller that investors are marketing to. But the kicker is this: no one takes the time to actually call them. And my friend, if you skipped over that, I really invite you to go back. That is one of the golden nuggets right there. Oftentimes, myself and the students that I work with, they're like, yeah, Steven, I was speaking with Becky about the house that she's executor to, that she's the personal rep to. And, she said she had a couple other probate letters that came in the mail, but I was the only one that called her and we hit it off. And, Steven, you're right. Like, I'm doing a probate deal. This is amazing. So, don't let the fear of a market saturation. This is one of the easiest lead sources to work because there's a real need. There's not a ton of volume. Like, you can do an amazing probate business if you have 60 to 100 probate records in your county on a monthly basis. Like, that's not a ton of phone calls. That's not a ton of mailings, and the yield on this is ridiculous, right? So my friend, do not let number 3 fool you here or be a misconception for you. It is one of the least saturated markets because it's one of the most misunderstood niches within real estate investing. So maybe I am being a fool here by letting the cat out of the bag that it's not as difficult, that it's not as crazy, that it's not as saturated. There are a lot of people who would probably like to keep that hush-hush because their biggest and best and most consistent deals most likely come from probate, right? So anyways, on to number 4. Sellers and their probate attorneys will not accept a discounted offer. My friend, this is absolutely false. They will accept a discounted offer. And that's something we're very clear with attorneys that we're speaking with and with sellers. We know that we're not trying to twist anyone's arm here. If the house is in pristine shape and they're getting tons of appraisals, they're absolutely trying to get top dollar, and they really, really want to list the property with the real estate agent, we're not trying to talk them out of that or twist their arm. But the fact of the matter is, a lot of these properties have been lived in for 30 and 40 years. And the taxes and the maintenance fees and the upkeep of these properties are starting to stack up for the family. And they want to cash out this estate because, like, this is money for their family, for their legacy, for their bills, and they want to move on from this property that oftentimes is sitting vacant. And so, when they feel that someone has come in there and is offering them speed and convenience and a solution. Now, we're not going in there offering 10 cents on the dollar. A lot of times we're able to get these properties for 50 or 60 cents on the dollar, sometimes even less, as low as 35 or 40 cents on the dollar. But these houses need a lot of work, right? So we design it as a win-win solution. And the attorneys and the sellers are open for that when they understood that there's somebody on the other end of the phone that actually cares, that's asking questions, that's there to help, and not just make a quick buck. So the worry or the fear that our offer will not be accepted by the attorney or the seller, it's just merely a worry or a fear. It's one of those things that is solved by getting out there, taking action, and making those offers and having those conversations. Not to say that every single offer, they're just going to welcome it with open arms. I mean, this is real estate. This is a business. Most offers will not get accepted. But the ones that do, it's a win-win situation. So don't let that fear or misconception stop you with probate, okay? So number 5 is it's unethical since someone passed away. So this is something that I'm very sensitive about because obviously we want to do everything above board. We want to do it the right way. And the truth of the matter is, like I said, the family is dealing with a real problem. It is a natural part of life. When these probates become available, the national average that the statistics show is that, when the records are available on a nationwide basis, the date of death has been about 68 days. So the family has kind of had their time to grieve the passing, and they have filed this probate at the court. They are satisfying the estate. They're looking to liquidate the property oftentimes and deal with the situation at hand. And again, we're not trying to change their mind. If they're already looking to list it, if they're keeping it in the family, we're looking to have great conversations and a very empathetic approach with those who are in need of liquidating quickly. And then those who are not interested, we're very, very respectful, very polite too. We do not hound them or anything like that. So when you do this right, it's one of the best business models, the best lead sources, and the least resistance that you'll find amongst the lead sources out there in the real estate world. So guys, if you want to build on this knowledge, I hope these 5 misconceptions, I hope this video brought you some value, some clarity. If you liked this video, I'd love for you to smash the like button and leave me a comment below. If you want to learn more about probate and you'd like me to do a larger series on this, also let me know that in the comments. Leave me a comment. I really, truly do read the comments. And if you, my friend, want to learn more about implementing this probate stuff, I invite you to go over to my website, StephenHowellMentoring.com. And if you subscribe there on that first page, I have 3 free trainings that I've put a lot of time into that have helped a lot of people get results in real estate investing and wholesaling in general. And then I give you some actionable steps with probate. There's a free 10-day probate boot camp that has helped a lot of people do their very first probate deal. And if you would like some extra hand-holding, some extra help in getting your first or your next large probate deal done in the next 60 days or so, you can, over on my website, StephenHowellMentoring.com, you can check out my one-on-one mentoring program where I help people to get their first few probate deals done, and I work with them and hold them by the hand for the first entire year of their business and help them to grow and scale as fast as possible. And I love doing that. I do that for a small handful of people. It's with me personally. It's not with a coach or somebody I outsource you to. and you can read that full page to see what that entails. And then if you feel like you might be a good fit for it, you can apply, and you and I will get on a call so I can really understand your situation. And then if I feel you're a good fit, I'll extend an offer to work with you one-on-one. Last but not least, on my site also, there's a case study for you to check out as well that I've done around this, how I'm consistently doing deals, and I think that will provide you a lot of value. So my friend, I've enjoyed making this video so much. I hope it's brought you a lot of value. I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.